Welcome to the Diamond Group of Institutions online classes. I am Suresh, Senior Lecturer in Botany. So due to the critical conditions of COVID-19, we are unable to conduct the offline classes. So but by the using of online classes option, we are providing as information for the students. It will be helpful for your objective exams. So every day we will be going to conducting the online classes on each chapter. We can discuss some questions which are important into the objective exams. So today's topic it is reproduction in organisms. It's a second year topic in the biology, that in botany. So today's topic it is reproduction in organisms. So in that, first you want to know means of reproduction, what are the types of reproductions, so what's the use of the reproduction. Reproduction is a physiological process to the production of new individuals from parents. So by the process of reproduction, continuation of the organisms from the one generation into the next generation will take place. So that's the use of the reproduction. And coming to the types of reproductions. So we can see as a types of the reproduction. Reproduction it was classified into two types. Those are asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. If we can see as asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, like it's a type of reproduction in that two parents are not involved, single parent only will take place, and formation of the new individuals are take place from the single parent only. Formation of the gametes and fusion of the gametes will not take place, and what are the offsprings are formed, those offsprings are similar into the parents. That is regarding into the asexual reproduction. And when we see into the sexual reproduction, sexual reproduction is a process to production of new individuals from the parents into offsprings. In this mechanism, two parents are involved or some of the organism single parent only involved. So in these, what are the offsprings are formed, those offsprings not similar into the parents, because in that sexual reproduction, formation of the gametes and fusion of the gametes will take place. So due to the fusion of the gametes, new individuals will not similar into the parents. In that new individuals, variations are takes place. Because of this sexual reproduction only, because of these variations only, what are the offsprings are formed, they will get a new characters. And sexual reproduction is a sexual reproduction only will be going to helpful to the surviving of organisms in different climatic conditions. So let's see some questions on this chapter. Select the incorrect statement. So option 1, asexual reproduction is always uniparental. So already we have discussed asexual reproduction is always uniparental. So it's a single parent. And option B, sexual reproduction, gametes are always formed. So in the process of sexual reproduction, fusion of the gametes and formation of the gametes will take place. Because of the formation and fusion of the gametes only, offsprings that ensures the variations. And option C, sexual reproduction involves both meiosis and mitosis. Sexual reproduction involves both meiosis and mitosis. So we are discussed already in the process of the sexual reproduction to the formation of the gametes. Gametes are present in always haploid condition. To the formation of gametes, meiosis is needed. So meiosis will take place, and mitosis. Mitosis also will be going to require to the development of organisms. And option D, in sexual reproduction, gametes are formed. In asexual reproduction, gametes are formed. The incorrect statement it is, so in a sexual reproduction, gametes are formed. But in option D, they given as in asexual reproduction gametes are formed. So that incorrect statement it is D. Coming to the second question, the eyes of potato tuber are. So potato tuber is a stem modification. Stem, it is helpful for storage of food materials, and in these of the potato tuber, from the stem modifications, production of new individuals will be takes place by the cutting off. So those are the cuttings those are the modifications of potato is stem only. So they are given as the options: root buds, flower buds, shoot buds, and axillary buds. If you can see as a potato, in that potato it's contained as a many number of small dotted light structures. Those are the dotted light structures we can call as a eyes. So what's the use of these eyes? So potato is entirely store the food materials in the form of a starch. It can store in the form of a starch. So wherever the eyes are present, that eyes indicates as a node. So according to the structure of these plants and arrangement of the leaves, wherever the nodes are present, from the nodal region leaves will be don't arises. So light in the potato, so here the eyes region nodes will be don't present. So from these of the nodes light as a eyes, a small bud will be don't develop. That bud only we can call as a axillary bud. Axillary bud. So if you can cut the potato tuber containing of these eye or axillary bud, you can tap into the small part of this potato into on a soil, it can give rise to new individual. So according to that, so based upon the option we have to choose the answers. Option A, they given as a root buds. So potato is a stem modification, but option A they given as a root buds. So root buds it's incorrect, and option B, flower buds. So similarly it's a stem modification. So new individuals are arises from the nodes that is we consider as a eyes. It's not a flower bud. And coming to the shoot buds, here you will be get as a confused, as potato tuber is a shoot modification, means a stem modification, but they are given as a shoot buds only. So shoot buds means wherever the buds will be going to arises from the nodes, the buds are we call as axillary buds. So instead of the nodal region or instead of the eyes, buds are that in developed means they are unable to give the new individuals. So that's why we can cut or we can separate that small part of the potato in the region of eye, we can tap on a soil, it can give rise into the new individual. So that's why answer is the axillary buds. And coming to the third question, select the correct statement. Select the correct statement. So options are they given as complete parthenogenesis is observed in a Triphyllina brahmina. So question regarding into the parthenogenesis. So parthenogenesis is a mechanism production of new individuals are take place from the parents without reproduction. So here the reproduction will not take place. So option A they given as complete parthenogenesis is observed in Triphyllina brahmina. So parthenogenesis it was classified into three types. Those are the three types of the parthenogenesis are complete parthenogenesis, incomplete parthenogenesis, and pedogenesis. So what are the three types of the parthenogenesis are here? Complete, incomplete, and pedogenesis. In this complete parthenogenesis, only parthenogenesis will take place. Means formation of new individuals take place from the parents without reproduction. Without reproduction only production of new individuals are take place. So that's why we can call as it's a complete parthenogenesis. So for the complete parthenogenesis example is Triphyllina brahmina, and also the one of the example it is rot lizard. And Coming to the incomplete parthenogenesis. In these are the incomplete parthenogenesis. So two mechanisms will take place in this incomplete parthenogenesis. Those are, one, it is new individuals are formed through the parthenogenetically, and other one, it is new individuals are takes place or formed by the reproduction. So that's why here the two mechanisms are take place. So new individuals are formed by the two ways. So we can call as a incomplete parthenogenesis. In these are the incomplete parthenogenesis. For the incomplete parthenogenesis, better example as a honeybees. Better example as a honeybees. So if you are taken as a honeybees, three types of the honeybees will be going to produce. The three types of the honeybees, females are they can produce through the reproduction, and males are we can call as a drones that can produce by the parthenogenetically. Means in the honeybees, three types of the honeybees will be going to present. Those are males, females, and the drones. So those are the females. They are considered as a worker bees and queen bees. So those are the worker bees, and the queen bees are produced through the fertilization, we can call as a reproduction. And the males are they can produce by the parthenogenetically. And coming to the pedogenesis. So in this pedogenesis, parthenogenesis is formation of new individuals are take place from the larva stage. So for these are the pedogenesis, parthenogenesis, example it is dollfly. So according to these other types of parthenogenesis, we have to pick the correct answer. Option A, they given as complete parthenogenesis is observed in a Triphyllina brahmina. So complete parthenogenesis we can observe in a Triphyllina brahmina. Option 1 is the correct. And option B, cyclic parthenogenesis is found in rock lizard. So cyclic parthenogenesis is also called as a incomplete parthenogenesis. So for this incomplete parthenogenesis, example it is a honeybee. So these are the Crustacean rock lizard or Crustacean lizards are the example for complete parthenogenesis only. And option C, in honeybees, fertilized egg gives rise into drones, and unfertilized eggs develop into worker bees. In option C, fertilized eggs are gives rise into drones. In this option they given as a reverse. Actually fertilized eggs are gives rise into the worker bees. Those are we can call as a females, and unfertilized eggs are they have gives rise into the drones. So option B and C both are incorrect. Option 1 only is a correct statement. And coming to the next question, as read the given statement and select the correct option. So in these questions, two statements are the given. Those are one, statement 1, the chances of young ones is greater in viviparous organisms as compared into the oviparous animals. So chances of the young ones surviving greater in viviparous animals compared into the oviparous animals. And statement 2, in vivipary there is a proper embryonic care and protection. So after the fertilization, embryo development in the animals. So based upon the development of the embryo into the animals, animals are classified into three types. Those are the three types of the animals. Oviparous animals, viviparous animals, and ovoviviparous animals. So oviparous animals, viviparous animals, and ovoviviparous animals. Oviparous animals, these are nothing but light as a birds. So these type of the animals we are also called as egg laying animals, or we are also called as egg laying birds. So oviparous animals, they can lay the eggs, means they can give the eggs. That egg will be covered by the calcareous layer. So in these are the oviparous animals. From the zygote into the parents does not having any parental connections. And coming to the viviparous animals. Viviparous animals. So these type of the animals are better examples as human beings. After the completion of fertilization, zygote, it will be converted into a embryo. From these zygote into the placenta of the human beings, otherwise from the zygote to human beings, a small tubular connections will be going to present. That tubular connections are we call as a placenta, placental connections. So here the baby or the embryo development will take place inside of the parental organisms. In the oviparous animals, zygote or baby development takes place outside of the parental organisms. That's a major difference here. And ovoviviparous animals. Ovoviviparous animals are, those are intermediate between the oviparous animals and the viviparous animals. So those examples for the ovoviviparous animals are rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes. So what is the major differences between the ovoviviparous animals and the viviparous animals? So ovoviviparous animals are like as a viviparous animals. Baby development takes place inside of the parental organism. You can imagine this is the parental organism and this is the baby or embryo development. So here from these of the embryo into the parental organism does not having any placental connections. Here the placental connections are absent, where in oviparous animals. Zygote or baby to parental organism connections are there, means the connection we call as a placental connection. Those type of the animals are we call as a viviparous animals. So which of the organisms are, they won't have any placental connections. The new individuals are developed outside the body of parent. Those are we call as a viviparous animals. So according to based on that concept, question it is, the chances of N1 survive is greater in viviparous organisms as compared into the oviparous organisms. So we can see as a according to the statement 1, viviparous animals are having a more chances to survive than the oviparous animals. And statement 2, in vivipary there is a proper embryonic care and protection. So in viviparous animals, baby or embryo development takes place inside of the parental organisms, and from the baby or embryo into the parents, connections will be drawn to present. That connection we call as placental connections, and through the placental connections, what the food materials are required, those will be drawn supplied from the parents into the embryo development. So here parental organisms will take place care on the development of the offsprings. So according to that, statement 1 and statement 2 both are, they will be drawn to correct. Based upon that, options they given as both statement 1 and 2 are true, and 2 is the correct explanation of 1. Means both of the two statements are correct. And what the statement 2 is given, in vivipary there is a proper embryonic care and protection. In vivipary there is a proper embryonic care and protection compared into the oviparous animals. So this explanation is a correct explanation for the statement 1. And option B, both statement 1 and 2 are true, but second statement 2 is not a correct explanation of 1. Means statement 1 and 2 both are the correct, but statement 2 is not a correct explanation for the 1. So here the statement 1, 2 and both are correct, and statement 2 is a proper explanation for the statement 1. Option C, statement 1 is true and 2 is false. Option 4, both statements are false. So based upon these 4 options, these both 2 statements are right. So these are the C and D options are incorrect. And here already we know viviparous animals are, they give a proper embryonic protection into the offsprings from the parents and compare into the oviparous animals. So option 1 only, means option A only correct. And coming to the next one, regeneration was first discovered by Tremblay in 1740. So here the regeneration is a one type of the asexual reproduction. So formation of the new individuals are take place from the parent, single parent only. And what are the offsprings are their form? Those offsprings are they similar into the parents. And that in these are the asexual reproduction, one type of the mechanism as a regeneration. So parental organism will be undergoing as a many number of the fragments, means pieces. Each piece can act as a new individual. So that process was first discovered by Tremblay in, options are given as planaria, rhizopus, hydra and starfish. So these are direct portion, and Tremblay was first identified the planaria, identified the regeneration in firstly in hydra, and these are the regeneration process we are also seen in the planaria, starfish, rhizopus and the hydra out of the 4 options. So Tremblay was firstly identified the regeneration mechanism in hydra only.
Okay.
Yes. Next question it is, find out the correct order of chromosome number in gametes of onion, fruit fly, housefly, butterfly and maize. So here organisms, they are having chromosomes. These chromosomes are available in 2 forms. The 2 forms are diploid chromosome number and haploid chromosome number. Diploid chromosome number, haploid chromosome number. Haploid chromosome number, it's always seen in gametes. So to the formation of new individuals through the process of sexual reproduction, so the diploid chromosomes should be converted into the haploid by the process of meiosis. So gametes are then formed by the process of meiosis. So that is the reason gametes are always present in the form of haploid. Those gametes are male gametes and female gametes. So based upon these chromosome number, question was raised. So those are the chromosome number of the onion, fruit fly, housefly, butterfly and maize. So that chromosome number as gametes chromosome number is always in haploid. So you want to know and you will be get the answer of these gamete chromosome number of the given organisms. So you want to know the diploid chromosome number of the organisms. So the diploid chromosome number of the organisms are onion diploid chromosome number is 16, fruit fly diploid chromosome number it is 8, housefly diploid chromosome number is 12, butterfly diploid chromosome number it is 360 and maize diploid chromosome number it is 20. So based on that, these are the diploid chromosome number. You want to know the gametes means haploid chromosome number. Options are given as 4. It's respectively 4 represents as a onion. So option A, first it was started as a 4, it's not correct, and option B also it was started as a 4. So haploid chromosome number of the onion should be present as 8, means here diploid chromosome number is 16. So haploid chromosome number it's 8. So that 8 chromosome number will be, it was started in option D only. So option D is the answer. So let's see, onion diploid chromosome number is 16, haploid chromosome number that is gamete 8, fruit fly diploid chromosome number is 8, in gametes is 4, Housefly diploid chromosome number it's 12, in gametes it is 60, and butterfly diploid chromosome number it's a 390, in gametes it's a 190, sorry 360, in gametes is a 190, and maize diploid chromosome number is a 20, in the gametes it's a 10. So that's the reason in the gametes always haploid chromosome number will be going to present, so answer it is a D. And coming to the next one, rearrange the following events of sexual reproduction in the sequence in which they occur in flowering plants. In the flowering plants, what are the events or take place in the process of sexual reproduction? We have to rearrange. So in a flowering plants and the events in sexual reproduction, so those are based upon the options are they given as option: pollination, embryogenesis, gametogenesis and fertilization. But the sequence order it is gametogenesis, gamete transfer, pollination, fertilization and embryogenesis. This is the sequence order in a sexual reproduction in angiospermic plants, otherwise we are also called as a flowering plants. So those are, so means of pollination. Pollination means transfer of the gametes from the anther into a stigma. So instead of the pollination, we are also called as a gamete transfer. Means gametogenesis as a pollination, otherwise gamete transfer. After the transferring of the gametes from anther into a stigma, so these are the male and female gametes, both are they have to fuse together, that is called as a fertilization. Fertilization. And after the fertilization, by the process of fertilization, both male and female gametes are there fused and they can form into a zygote, and this zygote is converted into a embryo. So according to those, pollination means transferring of the gametes, that is pollen grains from anther into a stigma. Embryogenesis means development of the zygote into a embryo. Gametogenesis means formation of gametes from the gamete mother cells by the process of meiosis. And fertilization, fusion of male and female gametes. So the sequence order it should be first as a gametogenesis. After the formation of the gametes are they have to transfer, means second it's a pollination, and third it's a fertilization, last is a embryogenesis. So based on that sequence, answer should be A, that is gametogenesis, pollination, fertilization and the embryogenesis. And next, basal half of onion bulb is removed, upper half is sown in the ground, new plant will. Means, so we can imagine about the onion we can consider as a bulb. The basal part of the onion, it will be going to present as a disc shaped structure. The disc shaped structure of the onion, it is a stem modification, and these are the disc shaped structure. It's contained as a many number of nodes and internodes. Due to the lack of internode length, or due to the lack of internode, what are the leaves are their presence in a onion, those all of the leaves are their presence in the form of closed or circulated or overlapped. Means here the internodal length is less, means wherever the nodes are there, from the nodal region leaves they will be going to arises. Here these basal part of the onion is a stem modification, and these of the stem modification we are going to call as a bulb. It's a bulb. So in this bulb, the disc shaped structure is contained as a many number of nodes and internodal length is reduced. So that's the reason many number of the leaves are overlapped or circulated to each other. So the question was given as basal half of the onion bulb is removed, means this part will be going to removed, and upper half is sown in the ground, new plant will be. Means we are going to remove out this small part of the onion, means basal part of the onion we are going to remove out. Only the upper part of the onion we are kept on a soil. So this part we are kept on a soil. So new plant will be, options are they given as emerge normally. Emerge normally means formation of the new plant normally. So actually for the production of new individuals or new plantlets in the onion, nodes are needed because from the nodal regions only roots or leaves are getting developed. So in the upper part of the soil stem, it was contained as a nodes and internodes, means leaves will be don't develop. In the lower part of the stem, inside of the soil, nodes will be don't present, means we can translate light as a roots, but those are also the stems only. So here emerge normally. So the basal part is removed out, means only leaves are there present. From the leaves roots will not develop, so new plant will not develop. And here option B, not emerge. So when you are going to remove the basal part of the onion, new plant is not developed or will not produce. That's the reason answer is a B. And option C, B without leaves. Here the plant only will not develop, so they are given as option B without leaves. Plant will not produce, so leaves also will not present. And B without flower. So here also plant will not present, so flowers also absent. So answer is a B only. And coming to the ninth question, select the correct match. See now, so in these options are given as transverse binary fission, example as planaria, longitudinal binary fission, example as monocytes, and simple binary fission, example they are given as Aurelia, and oblique binary fission, example as Plasmodium. So we can see as a binary fission is a type of asexual reproduction. So in these are the binary fission. Based upon the plane of division, it was classified into three types. The three types are simple binary fission, longitudinal binary fission, and transverse binary fission. If we are seen as a simple binary fission, example for that amoeba, that simple binary fission we are also called as a irregular binary fission, means in that amoeba production of new individuals are take place from the parents in any direction. So it can form into the new individuals in any direction. So that's why this type of the binary fission. Fission means formation or breakdown. Binary means two individuals are there formed. Bi means two. From the single parent, two offsprings will be don't develop. So the two offsprings are that can develop in a irregularly of the division of parent. Irregular division of the parents, two individuals will be don't develop. So that's why we call as a simple or irregular binary fission. And longitudinal binary fission. So here the binary fission is occur longitudinally. For this example of the longitudinal binary fission, we can take as example Euglena. So imagine this is a Euglena. So binary fission is occur longitudinally. Parental organism will not divide into two, that is in the form of longitudinally, and they can form into the two daughter Euglenas. This is longitudinal binary fission. And transverse binary fission. So for the transverse binary fission, the plane of division or transverse binary fission example as a paramecium. So these single parental organism can undergo the binary fission. That fission is occur into a transversely, and they can form into two. So this is a transverse binary fission. Here the binary fission is occur transversely, and longitudinal binary fission is occur in longitudinally. Simple or irregular binary fission occur in irregular or any direction. So these are the examples of this binary fission. So transverse binary fission they are given as a planaria. Longitudinal binary fission they are given as monocytosis. Simple binary fission they are given as Aurelia, and oblique binary fission they are given as a Plasmodium. This Plasmodium is example for the multiple binary fission. Aurelia example for the fragmentation. Monocyst is also example for the multiple binary fission. And planaria we are also seen example for the regeneration. So in these of the planaria, Formation of new individuals are take place by the transverse binary fission, means this is the planaria organism. It can body of the planaria will don't divide into two transversely, and they can form into two pieces, upper head and the lower tail, and these are the upper head and the lower tail will be going to redrain its parts, and they can act as a new individuals. So according to the correct option, it is transverse binary fission is example as a planaria, and also the example of the transverse binary fission is paramecium. And coming to the next one, Brodie is a technique of options are they given as micropropagation, drafting in apple, layering in pomegranate, and stem cuttings. Brodie is a technique, or Brodie is a mechanism we are seen in a artificial vegetative propagation. It's a type of asexual reproduction. We are seen into the flowering plants as this Brodie mechanism. So this Brodie we are seen in a artificial vegetative propagation. In this artificial vegetative propagation also, those are classified into many types. So those are air layering, bud layering, drafting. Those are the examples, or those are types. So in this Brodie also called as a air layering. First you want to know means of the layering. Layering is a mechanism to the production of new plantlets from the parent. So in these are the process of layering mechanism. It is lower branch of the stem. So you can imagine this is the lower branch of the stem. So for this lower branch of the stem we can made a injury. So means we can made the injury. So this is the lower branch of the stem. So in the center we can make the injury, otherwise we can remove the bark. Upper part of the tissue we are going to remove in the form of a ring. We are also seen this concept in ringing mechanism or dribbling mechanism. Bark we are going to remove out in the form of a ring. After the removing of the bark, this part is entirely covered with the polythene bag. So when the bark is removed, phloem transport is prevented. Phloem also is removed out. Only xylem will be going to presence. If the xylem only presents, xylem is helpful to the transfer of water and minerals. So here the phloem is removed out. By the removing of the phloem, food metals will not transfer from the leaves into the basal part of the plant body. So here what are the food metals are that can prepared by the process of photosynthesis in leaves. That food metals will be don't transfer and they will not reach into the stem. They can store to here only, and they can swell here. After the few days, from the upper part of the stem, many number of the rootlets or roots are that can develop. We can cut into this part and can act as a new individual. For this air layering, answer it is a layering in pomegranate. Otherwise Brodie we are also called as a air layering. In these of the air layering is a type of layering. So that layering we can see into the pomegranate.